Hi guys, the date is March 16th, 2026, and I thought I should make this video because I kind of hit rock bottom a few days ago, and it was hard because I lost almost all of my savings and had to pay off a lot of stuff, and just a hard week overall. And I kind of talked about how I felt like I was being targeted by God or the universe. And I had some time to just sit down by myself and make notes and process what I've gone through in the past week. And, well, I'm talking about last week, but yeah, and I just want to talk about some realizations that I've come to and some kind of things I understand a bit better now. Because the main reason that I felt it was futile for me to try and recover was I was able to do this much damage to myself. Well, let me go from the start. I wanted to speed up my timeline of moving out of my town and my city that I grew up in because I wanted to, live in the same city that my friends are in, and I'm just ready to move out of the house, and I wanted to speed up that timeline. And so I took out all my savings and put it on a generally safe trade that would work out and end up putting me just over the amount of money I need to leave the house. And then America announced that they were going to war with a different country. I forgot what it is, but it made the thing crash. I think it was Iran. But yeah, it made the thing crash, and I got liquidated and lost everything. And that week I had already scratched my car because someone else was doing some horrible driving, and then I got a ticket because I forgot to put in my thing in the license thing, and then some other things went bad too. My brakes, the pads wore down, so I need to buy new ones, and a bunch of other stuff. But I've kind of felt like everything was going wrong, and first I have to clarify that I was trying to speed up the timeline to do that, and it ended up putting me in a worse off position. But a big thing that I was doing when I did that is I was putting my future in someone else's control. And I mean, I can blame America, I can blame the political state of the world, but in conclusion, it was my fault for putting my future in someone else's control. I didn't think I was capable myself, and I wanted to take the shortcut, and I paid the price. Then another thing I realized is when I had lost everything, there was still stuff there from what I had been working on in the past few weeks. Because when you build your base, even if you lose all your money, I still had my health, and I was still really healthy, and my gym progress and my knowledge of all the books I've been reading and my values, I still had all of those. And so now that I'm going to start working on building my income back up, I can see the real value in building your base stuff up. Now another thing is that made that week really hard was accepting responsibility. And I had to accept responsibility for all the bad things that were happening because it wasn't God or the universe. It was me. And something kind of came over with my parents, and a lot of realizations hit at once, and I had to accept the fact that I couldn't just blame my parents for my issues, that the awareness I have of them and the understanding, I can no longer blame them, because the blame is insignificant and they will never take responsibility for fixing those issues that they made. And so now I am going to have to take responsibility for them and work on them myself. And I had to take responsibility for that. And I realized that the same week that all this stuff was happening. So now I have to take responsibility for a massive load of stuff. And it just all hit at once. And that's another thing that made it so hard, is I felt like I could escape the bad at home environment. It's not really bad home environment, it's just one that doesn't fit me. And I thought I could escape it, and that's another reason why I took the control out of my own hands and put my money into the market. Another thing is the relationship with myself. The hardest thing was I saw it as self-sabotage when I was doing all this and having to take responsibility for all these things. And I kind of understand a large part of the issue, that maybe it's generational trauma. I don't know. I don't really understand that, but I think that relationships with others are built on the blueprints of your relationship with yourself. So I have been working hard to become more independent and understand myself better. And in the process of that, there has been some self-sabotage. And now I'm having to confront that, and I'm having to and the act of not wanting to confront that and avoiding that was, I just kept sabotaging myself. And it wasn't until I confronted that, then it was like I wanted to confront it, but I didn't want to. And so I just kept making it worse until I unconsciously forced myself to confront it through losing a lot. And it's kind of interesting how that is. And then another one is just another thing on that inner voice, it can really make you feel bad when you're down, and that's something you got to watch out for, is that inner voice telling you stuff and making you feel bad. But yeah. So those are just kind of some realizations I had, and the thing that I'm most worried about is not the fact that I can take responsibility for what position that I've got myself into. It's that if I have to take responsibility and accept the fact that no one's going to help me out of this, and that nobody really cares. Just gonna be frank and say it, nobody cares the position I've gotten myself into. Nobody cares. And no one's gonna pull me out of it. And if I have to accept that, I already have trouble connecting with people because I'm very logical and straightforward, and sometimes people, I don't know, sometimes people don't see it like that. And if I have to, okay, I'm just gonna say it, if I have to only rely on myself for now, how do I know I won't be able to how do I know I won't take away the ability to rely on other people for myself permanently? And that's what I'm worried about, is the farther I go towards improving myself and taking control of my own life, the farther I go away from, it's like taking away the power of other people, but sometimes it's good for other people to have some power. I don't know though. That's definitely something that it'll be good to think about, because I think the truth is, it's not about taking away or giving other people power. It's about a connection, and it's about not relying on other people, but allowing other people to help you because it makes them feel good and you feel good, but not needing it. But that's something I'll have to deal with later on. I definitely don't have that issue now. I think I have the opposite of that. But yeah. So yeah, this is kind of just where I'm at, how I'm feeling. And maybe anyone else who has hit rock bottom recently, this might help them. And yeah. The main thing is you feel like rubbish because some people treat you nice, some people treat you mean, but you can kind of have some self-respect and blow that off. But if you treat yourself unkindly, it just hits different, and it makes you feel like the affirmations of how you treat yourself are so important, because that's kind of the truth you can always go back to. Like, that's why everyone says love yourself, because you can always know that someone loves you if you love yourself. But that it goes the same way if you hurt yourself. You're telling yourself that you're someone who deserves to get hurt, and when you do that to yourself, and then you're in a position where nobody really cares about you, and the one person who you can always rely on caring about you just hurt you, which is yourself, that puts you in such a bad position. And it's such a hard position to get out of. But if you have the self-awareness to work through it and see it for what it is, then it's doable. And it's not a fast thing, because what I'm realizing is I can't just be like, oh, okay, I hurt myself. Now I need to just love myself. Okay, we're good. It's more, I don't have trust in myself at the moment, and I am upset at myself. And this is not something that's going to heal overnight after the damage that's happened. Because every time I have to confront the damage that's been done, I'll have that feeling against myself and that resentment. But it's something that over time I'm going to have to work on. It's like when someone hurts you. If someone hurts me, I'm not going to trust them. They're going to have to rebuild that trust. And I just hurt myself. So I am going to have to rebuild that trust with myself. And yeah. And that I just got to take that one step at a time. But yeah. It's I keep thinking about, is this necessary? Did I have to do this just to learn this lesson? But I need to focus on the awareness, acceptance, and presence. I need to be aware of what I did. I can't just be like, yeah, I hurt myself, and then just move on. I gotta be aware of why I did it, all the aspects of it, and then I have to accept it. I can't focus on if I hadn't done it or why did, or like If I should have done it, I did it, and I have to accept that, take responsibility for it, and then move into the presence. I'm not going to focus on the future or the past. I'm just going to take action and start rebuilding that relationship with myself and expanding on my knowledge from what I've learned from this little thing. But yeah, that's kind of all I wanted to talk about in this video. That's the end of the video.